This video is going to talk about a few more vocabulary words. This might feel familiar to you. It's something that you probably have learned. So this is going to be a pretty quick review just to make sure that we don't make any mistakes when we talk about order of operations. The first thing we need to review is that just with repeated addition, we can represent that as multiplication. We can also use repeated multiplication represented as a power. Now, a power has two elements or parts. I'm going to write parts under here. And that is a base and then the exponent. We can see here labeled in the picture that 2 to the 4th combined is the power. The base is going to be, the larger number. And then the power is going to be, the exponent is going to be that baby number. The base is going to be the factor that is multiplied repeatedly. So that's the number you're going to multiply times itself over and over again. How many times? Well, the exponent of the power is the number of times that the base is used as a factor. Let's take a look at what that's going to look like. I have 8 squared. You have 7 squared. Also, right in the middle of your page, you have that you can read a power in 2 different ways. 2 to the 4th power, 2 raised to the 4th power. So I want you to think about that as we identify the base and the exponent in each power, then write each power in words. Well, mine, the 8 is going to be the base. The 2 is the exponent. The way that I would say that is 8 squared. Yours is going to look a lot like that, but you don't have 8, you have 7. So make sure you're very, very careful. I'm going to try the next one. I have 7, you have 4 as the base. 3 is my exponent, and it's going to be your exponent. Now I'm going to use that little bitty typing as an example where it says 2 raised to the 4th power. I'm going to use that as my example. 7 raised to the 3rd power. That's how you would say that. Okay, pause and take a little extra time if you need to. I'm going to keep going. Next slide looks like this for me. Looks slightly different for you, but not very much different. An exponent tells us how many times a number is used in an expression. So we're going to take a look at this expression, 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. Remember, the dot means multiply. We could also write that in parentheses if we wanted to. Means multiplication. How many times is the factor 6 used? Well, how many times do we write that? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Now, count your number because it's not a 6, it's a 5. So double check. Complete each statement. If I have 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, that equals 6 to what power? 1, 2, 3, 4. To the 4th power. You have a whole bunch of 5s, so you count up your 5s and see what the power should be. I have 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 9s. So I wrote 5 as the exponent. You have 8s. Count them up and see how many you have. C, we're going to write an equivalent repeated multiplication expression. So the base is the 4. That's what I multiply together 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. You have the number 2, so be careful and look at the difference. Now, I have a fraction here, but I'm not going to panic because all I'm doing is writing it how many times? 5 times, because the exponent tells me to multiply it times itself 5 times. Pause if you need caught up because you don't have 1/2, you have 1/3. We're going to do this top part together and then you're going to do the independent practice. First thing we're going to do is we're going to write 5 to the 3rd power in the math that we need to do. That means 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 times 5 is 125. We can't really use calculators on this, but where our hope is that it would be simple. There could be some times that you're doing this skill and you can use a calculator. So I want to show you how to do that. Grab a calculator if you don't already have one. You're going to put the base in, which is 5. And then you're going to look for the button that looks like this. Okay, it looks like a little house, roof only. And then you put the exponent in of 3. Hit your equals, and it's going to tell you 125. So you try that on this one. Okay, 4, and then find the little button. I'm looking at the calculator that I have at home, and I don't even see that little button. It's no biggie. I bet you can do it all by yourself. Okay, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. You get that answer. Try the calculator. If you can't find that button, let me know. The rest of this practice is on your own, but I'm going to point out 2 different things. The first one is 3a. I have 0 to the 82nd power. Do we need to write 0 times 0 times 0 times 0 82 times? Or can we just understand if I have 0 as the base, my answer will always be 0. So because when I'm multiplying 0 times itself, the answer is always 0. The last thing that I'm going to point out is 5b. Anytime, oops, this is supposed to be a 0. Anytime that you have 5 to the 0 power, okay, anytime you have any number to the 0 power. So I'm going to make a note. Anytime, actually, I want to erase that and say any number to the 0 power. This is going to be really important for you to write down. Is always equal to 1. Okay, I'm going to highlight that, draw a circle around it. I want you to understand that this is a big idea. It would take a lot for me to show you why this works, but what I want you to know is any number that's raised to the 0 power is always 1. 5 to the 0, 10 to the 0, 1,365 to the 0 is always going to be 1. Okay, my highlighter is not wanting to work. Worked there for a little bit. Now it's going crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and end this before something breaks down. Just remember, any number raised to the 0 power, the answer is 1. Good luck with your practice.